The marathon day is just about ready to wrap up. It is the 7th and final game, day number 2 of the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships here in 360 Live. Hi, everybody. Dan Hobson. It is the Bedford Blues in their blue and black jerseys taking on the Glace Bay Miners in their black and whites. And this is a big game for both of these teams. Right now, they are pretty well neck and neck in the standings. Have the potential, of course, this is a second place finishing after 2 days of the round robin portion, and there'll be 3 games tomorrow. So this is a big 2 points that are up for grabs for both of these teams as we are underway. Albert will be the starting goaltender. Apologies to that. Nicholas Albert there for the Bedford Blues, and Owen Bresson for the Glace Bay Miners. Power plays here throughout this championship, as well as tonight, will be brought to you by Atlantic Acura. And the third period brought to you by Cushman Wakefield. So now that we've got the selling of ads done and out of the way with, let's talk hockey here in the final game. Hand pass will blow play down here. Teams do not have a history against each other. They have not met until these championships. They might have played and met in other tournaments that, of course, have not been able to have statistical information. But let's talk about their respective seasons here. The Bedford Blues defending champions here. The 2018 Atlantic silver medalist, losing to the team out of Edmundston last year in the Atlantics, finished in the Central Minor Hockey Federation with an 18-7-3 record. And here for the Glace Bay Miners, first place in the Cape Breton PeeWee AAA Hockey League, and they ran the table in the regular season 25-0. So on paper, this looks like to be a very good game, and as I said, 2 points up for grabs. The Tassa Ducks have first place right now, but there's still, as I said, there's 3 games of round robin tomorrow before the playoff round, and we'll have our first penalty of the game. And it will be the Steelers, and they actually blew the whistle before the player even touched the puck. It is a hooking call against Glace Bay. And it's going against Garrett McIntosh. And he'll be off for the hook. This power play brought to you by Atlantic Acura, the first one of the game belonging to the Bedford Blues. McCarron there with the shot. Loose puck up for grabs, scores! He may be down on the ice, but he's not going to keep a good man down. Cole Chandler gets the goal. A minute and 46 into this one. Quickly, Blues lead 1-0. I said a minute and 46. What a start for them. First penalty of the game, Glace Bay, and they pay the piper. As we come up to the 2-minute mark here of the first period. There's a hit there to center ice, and this is going to be another penalty, and Chandler got the goal, and now trying to shake the cobwebs out as a body contact is. You can see the intensity here in this game, but I'm not sure if this is going to work out for the Glace Bay Miners. Body contact to McIsaac. So it is another power play here for the Bedford Blues. Body contact against McIsaac. Power play brought to you by Atlantic Acura. 1:59, the time of the penalty. So 1 for 1, the Blues are hoping to make it 2 for 2 and try to, maybe coast their way, because you got to be thinking right now energy here. A little bit of a factor, conditioning as we get into the later stages here of the tournament. Perrier had his stick checked before he can get a shot, and the Miners send it down. Millett looks around, assesses the situation. St. Clair gives him a little bump there, and a penalty killing roll here for the Glace Bay Miners. St. Clair runs into his own teammate there. That's Clark. Hudson Clark had a pretty good game earlier against, of course, their team that they played. His memory's starting to fade here in late stages against Sydney. They're league rivals. And another big save. Of course, Bresson has been on here at the championships. And, you know, when you're talking about MVPs and who has done what here at the championships, Owen Bresson was pretty good yesterday. And he has been pretty good, from what I hear, in the regular season as well for these Glace Bay Miners. McCarron dances along. Was going to leave a drop pass there, trying to hit Jewett there for the Blues. McCarron now, wrist shot. There's a deflection, and it goes over the net. Evan Amiro right on the doorstep, tipping that out of harm's way. Want to say hello to Isaac Storm. He played yesterday and got a goal. And as Perrier entered back into the lineup, Storm played, got a goal, and now will be an innocent watcher the rest of the way here for the former Bedford Blues. He got a call up, and you got to take advantage of the call-ups that you do. So say hello to Isaac. Maybe he's back watching home here online, and hope that you all are enjoying the broadcast here, brought to you by 360 here at the PeeWee Provincial Championships. As the power play is over, so 1 for 2 and a couple of shots there for the Blues. Amiro now trying to set up Jewett once again. It's too far out of his reach. Back in behind the goal. Miners will come up with it, but they still can't clear for the meantime. Puck now just outside the players' bench there of the Blues, and Cameron now has a little bit of room. Pass was behind O'Neill, but nice recognition and second effort there coming up with the puck. Pilling now trying to get a chance. There's a whack there by O'Neill late stages there as Arthur covers up for the whistle. 4 minutes and 37 seconds gone here in the period. Early penalty trouble here for the Glace Bay, and Chandler made them pay. Just a few seconds into that Atlantic Acura power play, 1:46. Power play goal, making it 1-0. LeBlanc now, as the Blues are trying to get out of their own zone, try to get something going. And here they come. Chandler's looked pretty good. He's been pretty busy so far. Cole Chandler, there's shot, scores! Chandler get it again, or was it a deflection out front? It happened that quickly. Blues will take it. It's 2-0. 5:02 at the time of the goal. Do your job, Hobson, here. Get that score up there. Well, it's not 3. Getting a little inside information as to what we do here at the championships. So now the score is accurate. It is 2-0, as you see in the corner of your screen. But the Miners are coming back. Arthur Albert with the stop. I apologize. I keep wanting to call him Arthur, but it is Nicholas Albert. So if the family members are watching either down south or anywhere across the World Wide Web, my apologies. Albert getting a start here in this one, his second start here at the championships. Both goaltenders are, of course, victorious earlier today. Albert yesterday, so Albert fresh. Bedford Blues had the late game yesterday, and they have the late game here today. So a little bit more than 24 hours since the last time that Albert has played. And he looks fresh and on here in this one. We come up to the 6-minute mark here of period number 1. And here come the Blues, but they forgot something in the process. It's called the biscuit and the puck. And Clark has it now for the Miners. And the Miners now really got to start to put their offensive pants on here as they're trailing. And it just seems like it was a quick 2 minutes ago. We were just dropping the puck at center ice. So now they've got to really get something going. Maybe they have something going. Here's a shot there going down, and he got all of it, an open net there. Good chance there for Garrett McIntosh. McIntosh on a good rush. Now he'll settle down and get up front, waiting for the pass. There's a puck battle in behind the goal. Miners are going to try to come out the other way with it, and blowing a tire and unable to center it there was, but it's actually going to be a penalty as the back official has his arm up in the air. Extra attacker out there for the Miners, so Miners will get a chance here as now they're starting to force the play. 6 minutes and 48 seconds. And John Connolly had a song called the Friday Night Blues. Well, this is Blues number 14, McCarron going off, as he'll have the case of the Friday Night Blues as he tripped the Miners player. Actually, they're going to have two in the box. Okay. This is an interesting situation. So is it a 5-on-3? We'll have to wait and see. They have two up on the box, so it will be a 5-on-3. So 2 penalties assessed to the Blues. Wow. A good chance here for Glace Bay to even things up. A 5-on-3, and it is a prolonged one shot. That would hit the crossbar. O'Neill was trying to swing, but he missed trying to get that tap in after it hit the post, but play continues on. Wrist shot there, stepping into that one is Gottwald there. It's a bouncing puck. Albert has some difficulty. Winding is Miller and sending it down right on to Bresson. 1:30 left in the penalties. A 5-on-3. Long lead pass up ahead. McIntosh trying to get something going. He's being watched there by Cameron Buffett. Shot there as that hits a body and stays in play just below the netting there. So play will continue on. 1:05 left in the Atlantic Acura power play. And there's the score and the celebration. And that's what Glace Bay needed to tie the game. Just past the halfway point, 7:47. Give it to O'Neill. A lot happening here so far. We should be in for a dandy of a game. As said, 2 points up for grab and second place up for grabs. So brings one of those Miners down, so we'll go as a power play goal, and they're still on the power play for 53 seconds. We've seen here so far at the championships, you go to the penalty box and you pay the price. Just ask the West Hants Warriors. For 2 periods, they took a lot of penalties in their game against Pictou, and in the third period, they got 3 straight goals, stayed out of the box, and came away with the victory over the Pictou County Crushers. 20 seconds remains in the Atlantic Acura power play here for the Miners. They've tied it up, and now they're trying to go for their lead first time here in this game. St. Clair, Cameron there, wrist shot, doesn't get through as it's knocked down. The Blues will clear it. We'll call it a day here for the power play here for the Glace Bay Miners. It will officially go down as 1 for 2 on the PP, but they're happy just to get the tying goal. Ryland Hanrahan gets to the blue line no further. Here come the Blues back the other way. Chandler, wrist shot and a stop there by Bresson. And no rebound and taps on the head. 5:52 remains, 2-1 the score. Of course, first place is still a possibility, but let's look at the realistics. His goals for determine, of course, first place. And right now, the Tassa Ducks have 27 goals. The Bedford Blues have 7. So for them to have first place for the end of the day, they've got to pretty well run up the score here against Glace Bay Miners. And it's not a term that I like to use, but that's what has to happen for them. So pretty well the Ducks, after 2 days of the championships, will have first place here at the championships. 3 games tomorrow, so a good portion of the round robin is in the bag once this one is done. 7 games today, 4 yesterday, 11 being taken care of. Championship Sunday, playoffs, Final 4 will play starting on Sunday morning. And 3 round robins left tomorrow. And we'll have coverage of them all here on 360 Live. 4:50 remaining, scores! Rory Pilling, 2-1. (10:11) the time. You can see the smiles there. Glace Bay Miners, parents, taps on the head from the coaching staff of Brian O'Neill, Bobby O'Hanley, and Robert St. Clair. And their manager is Stacey Matheson. First time of the game that they have the lead. 10:11 the time. Makes it 2-2. And they're coming back and they score again just like that, and it's 3-2. The goals are coming so fast, it's hard to keep track of. 10 minutes and 30 seconds. 3-2. Is there a timeout being called? Oh, yes, there is. The Blues are trying to talk things over here. Not a bad timeout here for Greg McDonald, his coaching staff, Peter McIsaac and Matt Wombold, and their managers, Michelle Gauguin. So you got to give them credit here for calling a timeout, not afraid to burn it, because now they will not have one for the rest of the game. But you can see things coming off the rails here. 2 goals in 19 seconds have the Mariners up 3-2. Albert still in nets. Boy, I said I'm not sure about, I was thinking it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I have a funny feeling they're going to light the lamp a lot. 5 goals so far. First period not even close to coming to an end. Manning sends it towards the corner. Xavier Manning, the defenseman here for the Bedford Blues. Puck up for grabs. Miners will win it and send it here to the near side boards. Now they'll come up the center ice, led by Matheson. St. Clair driving towards the net. St. Clair now parks in the office and now come up and look for a loose puck, but the Mariners keep possession of it. Down in the corner. And the Blues are going to try to get it out, but Cameron's going to pinch in and keep it alive there. Jewett coming over to be a little bit of a nuisance there for Cameron. And now the Blues back on the transition. But it's picked off. Hanrahan, Jewett trying to get position on him, and does, and lost the puck in the process there. Nice work there by Jewett. 3-2 the score, and definitely shocking turn of events here at the Halifax Forum. Defending champions now find themselves trailing. I think that's the first time here the championships they have. Yesterday they had a 4-1 win over Halifax, so they had the lead first thing and they never gave it up. So now a little bit of adversity here for the defending champions, the silver medalists. They lost the gold medal game last year in Edmundston to the Northwest Warriors. And now here they are, hard pressed really to try to win the championship. 18-7 they went in the regular season, and 18-7-3 to be precise. And now here they are trailing in this one for the first time, and trailing for the first time here at the championships. But it looks like no big deal as Mathers has the puck now. Sends it in behind the goal. Nice little spin move there by Billy Cameron. Big defenseman here for the Glace Bay Miners. and probably a future Jono Jim Cougar. And has that program ever created some great players? You have to think of Sonny Cabate. Of course, Cabate now playing for the Steel Subaru Major Midgets, and getting a chance was O'Neill, and Albert with the stop. A lot of players have come through that organization. And you got to give them credit. They upset the Truro Bearcats to punch their ticket to the Major Bantam Provincials. Bearcats were coming into that tournament fourth in standings, and the Jono Jim Cougars were definitely the underdogs. And the Truro Bearcats won the first game up there at the Emera Center North, up there in North Sydney, and had a chance to clinch with 2 games in their backyard at the Rath East Lake Community Center. There's a penalty coming up here to the Glace Bay Miners. So that program has a lot to be proud of, and they've got some future stars here with the Glace Bay Miners if they elect to play there. Of course, the Nova Bantams, former provincial champions from a couple of years ago, back at the East End Sportsplex, as Cathart will go to the box there for a hook. So the future looks pretty good there for the Jono Jim Cougars if they get a good majority of these Glace Bay Miners to move up to the Major Bantam program. A very exciting league. So you know that that's a happy organization, going to be getting some top players here. So here's another Atlantic Acura power play here for the Bedford Blues. Bresson makes the stop, and it's cleared out of harm's way and gets outside the line into center ice. Ryland Millett. Ryland Millett had 2 goals and 2 assists at the Buster Harvey tournament. Shot there by Buffett, didn't miss by much. A tournament where the Bedford Blues went 2 wins and 1 loss. The champions, when it was all said and done, the Tassa Ducks, who also play in their league. 1:10 left remaining here in the penalty here as we wind down the first period. 23 seconds remaining. So barring a goal here by the Blues, they'll carry us over into the second period. The Blues will have a lot to say. It's in the blue ice and out the other side. 10 seconds remaining. The Blues keep it alive. Wrist shot. That doesn't get through. His Gutwald gets in the way, and then he sort of hits his man. Time winding down a shot. Bresson makes a final stop, and the Blues couldn't center it there as time expires to end the first period. And what a first period it was. 3-2 after the opening 15 minutes of play. Back with the second period after this. Getting a little loud here at the Halifax Forum as second period's underway. And if you've just joined us, my name is Dan Hobson. This is the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Championships here on 360 Live. The Blues have a 24-second power play, which is brought to you by Atlantic Acura. At one point, they had the lead, but 2 goals quickly here, 19 seconds apart for the Glace Bay Miners, have them up 3-2 as this power play is starting to wind down. It has 8 seconds left in the Cathcart penalty. Blues have possession once again. Cathcart out of the box, goes to the bench. And now here's a breakaway, and coming off the bench is McIntosh. McIntosh going in, Deeks backhand, scores! 4-2. 52 seconds into the second period. McIntosh. Will not go down as a power play goal. Of course, because, well, I'm sorry about that. It is a even strength goal because coming out of the box is what I meant to say. Apologies on that. As coming out of the box, of course, was Cathcart. Cathcart went to the bench, jumping over. So onside was McIntosh, had the breakaway, went backhand on Albert. And all of a sudden, after getting that first goal of the game, the Blues are now trailing by 2. Blues started early on the power play, 146. And then Chandler, well, he made it 2-0. 4 straight here by the Glace Bay Miners. And a goal post there for the Blues, so they're still trying. Follow bouncing puck, it's in the air. They try to do the wraparound. It's Chandler again. And he doesn't get much in terms of composite on it for that time. Shot doesn't get through as it hits a stick there. Pilling getting in the way of that there for the Glace Bay Miners. Blues pressing once again now. The last 2 games have been dandies, and this one looks like it will be as well. The last shot wins, maybe, possibly. Mariners now in possession and send it down. And things starting to get way loud here as the Mariners have a good fan base here at the Halifax Forum in behind their bench. I'd say that they're probably maybe the second or third loudest. A chance there by Miller, and a couple of whacks and the whistle stops play as referee lost sight of the puck. 4-2, and take a breather, everybody. What a period it's been. 2 minutes and 45 seconds in the books here in this second period. The only word I guess you can use to describe this game is busy. A lot of things going on. Penalties, power play goals. 6 goals in the game. And usually you think of the Blues as being, well, low scoring, tight checking game. That has not come to fruition, but Miller now has to turn on the offensive pants here for the Bedford Blues. Wrap around blue ice. There's a whack there by Chandler. He's looking for it. Loose puck. And it is under Bresson, and the referee blows whistle. And all of a sudden now, the Miners not too happy with the extra shots their goaltender got. Kind of pushing some of the Blues players away. Cooler heads once again prevailing. Reminder that we'll have the player of the game presentation, and is brought to you by Dexter Construction immediately following the end of this contest. And right now, the way things are going, you have lots of numbers to choose from both these teams. Here's O'Neill now. He'll leave it for Pilling. McIsaac, and that doesn't get through as it's blocked. And trying to shake that one off is Jewett, as he might have got it in the knee. He stays out there, but sacrificing your body for the good of the cause. Jewett will now clear it and go off for a change. Will not have enough, well, it does have enough mustard for icing. And in Pee-wee hockey, of course, players can make changes on icing, so the players from both teams will do that. So changes aboard here for everybody. Game number 7. We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. The Ducks came away with a 15-0 win over the Sydney Steelers, and Of course, there's going to be awards after our final round robin game tomorrow, right around approximately about 5:45. And I say of a sportsmanship award, they've handed it in the past here at these championships. I remember a couple of years, the Straight Pirates, coached by Joe Campbell, won that award. They know going into a tournament that it's going to be really tough sledding to try to win a championship. And they've given up a lot of goals here at the championships, but there's just no quit in them. They keep on playing, and they play clean. And a lot of respect was shown between the Miners and the Steelers after their game earlier today. Rachel Walsh will try to backhand it now for the Blues. Trying to get out of their own zone, and they need to get some offense going here. Second period. They led by 2-0, and then a 4-goal run here as we come up to the 5-minute mark here of the third period. 4-2 the score between the Miners of Glace Bay and the Blues of Bedford. Dan Hobbs along for the call here at 360 Live. Clark now. Middle. Pass up ahead is backhanded there by Hanrahan. St. Clair looking for the loose puck there for the Miners. Doesn't get there in time. So here's the Blues. Miller has Millett with him. So this is a dangerous line combination. Got to keep an eye on. Miller with a wrister. Not much on it. Easily steered aside by Bresson. It wasn't even on the net, but he wanted to make sure. McIntosh has that breakaway goal here. Wrist shot that doesn't get through as Mathers gets in the way of that. Miller, quick passing here, and the Blues were thinking they were off to the races, but they lost the biscuit, and keeping the puck there is McIntosh inside the zone there for the Mariners in the Blues zone. Once again, Mathers trying to find the hole, and Miller now in a foot race here against McIsaac. And McIsaac with nice positioning comes up and steals the puck. That was pretty easy. No big deal. Here's O'Neill. Neal on Manning. Drops it off. Pilling now. Once again, O'Neill has to spin, and he might have lost sight of it there. Lost it in his skates or something. He's also at the end of a shift, so he'll go off, and they'll jump another forward on here is the Miners. 8:20 remaining here in the second period. Cruising along on a Friday night in game number 7. Jewett sends it in. Poirier out there as well as Emmanuel, the forward line here for the Blues. Here come the Miners here. 25-0 in the regular season as I documented. And they have wins here at the championships. Doing quite well. A strong showing for them. Glace Bay Miners defeated Halifax in a close scoring game to start the championships yesterday, 4-3. And then Glace Bay a 10-2 win over their league rivals, the Sydney Steelers. And they're trying to go 3-0 to stay in that race for first place. This one, of course, is for second place, as both these teams will not manage to put enough goals on the goals for to help them get first place after 2 days of competition, as I've mentioned earlier. For that, we're going to have football scores for every goal, maybe put, 4 points up. That's the only way it could happen, so it's a real tall task. Clark going in, shot, and the save there by Albert. Albert went pretty well. A nice little game there for him. Matching wits there. Stride for stride with Clark. And Clark ran out of real estate and had a short scoring chance. Clark following up. Is this an interference penalty to McCarron? Looking like it is, and the Blues showing frustration here as McCarron got in the way of Clark. And Clark is getting a little bit to be a story here. The center here, Hudson Clark. It's actually Manning, so Manning going off. Interference. Another power play brought to you by Atlantic Acura. 8:27 the time of that penalty here to Manning. I know it's haven't reached the halfway point of the game, but this is a big kill here for the Bedford Blues, trailing by 2. Gottwald. There is O'Neill trying to fire, and blocking that is Buffett. And Buffett, he took one in his game earlier, so boy, he's got some bruises here to show what he's done at championships and getting in the way of the shooting lanes. And a shot there by the Miners is stopped there by Albert. But Cameron Buffett, solid defensive play here this weekend here for the Bedford Blues. 1:28 remaining in the Atlantic Acura power play here for the Glace Bay Miners, leading this one by a score of 4-2, as you see, and 6:01 remaining here in period number 2. So time starting to wind down and get to be a little bit of a factor here. Miners still pressing there. It's inside the blue ice, and the Blues will clear it thanks to Millett getting it out there. Ryland Millett, a big forward here. And you know that probably Jason Troini and the Bedford Barons looking here at some of these Blues players, and you know they're definitely keeping an eye on Millett. Of course, there was a Millett that played for the Steel Subarus and the Dartmouth Whalers team of the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. And he was a tall player, and this player Millett here, Ryland, pretty tall as well. As we have an offside on the play. 38 seconds remain in the penalty to Manning, who's off for interference. McIsaac had a word with the linesman. I'm not sure what that would be about, but face off outside the line, and a big draw here for Cole Chandler. Chandler got the power play goal at 1:46, and we have a penalty just like that off the draw. It's a tripping call, and it's going against Perrier. A 2-man advantage. Perrier missed yesterday's game, so now he gets a chance to go to the box for a trip 2 or less. There's a 5-on-3, the second 5-on-3 of the game, and I'm not sure what Greg McDonald is thinking, and of course his bench is not in camera view, but I would really like to see his face. You could probably maybe feel that he's not happy the way this one is transpiring. His team down by 2, and they're down 2 players right now at this portion of the game, and they will be for another 30 seconds as Manning's interference penalty is winding down. Gottwald was coming to think about it. He hesitated, and he may pay the price as the Blues do get it out, but they do prevent that shorthanded chance there. 5-on-3 for 15 seconds. Last chance here for the 5-on-3. Still an Atlantic Acura power play here for the Miners. McIsaac. There's a shot there by Gottwald, and that's stopped there, and they tapped in there by the Miners, but the whistle had gone. Not much of an objection here by the teams. 2 seconds left in the penalty to Manning. 1:27 left to Perrier, and 4:35 remaining. So you're up to date in terms of time of what's going on here at the Halifax Forum. Late stages of the second period. I have to say something. I'm not sure if you saw it there, but that goaltender, Manny Strong, he's definitely, a pepper pot there. He sits in the middle of the bench. You don't see that often. And anytime the music comes on during the play, he's got some moves. I mean, he can cut some rugs, folks. So you ever see him at a dance floor, some family members, boy, he's got something because he's always, talking, engaging with the coaches now in the middle. Very loose here at these championships. He got the start earlier in their win against Sydney. But I saw him do it yesterday, and he did it in this game as well. Well, why not? Sports is meant to have fun. Yes, you're playing for a provincial championship, but you can still have fun as well. And I mean, still, the most important part of hockey is to have fun, and that's what, hockey associations just like, Hockey Nova Scotia are trying to enforce. So Manny Strong having a fun time here at the championships. Chandler backs in, sends the backhand in, gassed and wants to go for a change. 5-on-4 now for 33 seconds. Perrier in the box for a trip. And nothing much going on here as we went to a 5-on-4, and the Blues really doing a good job killing this one, and they have to. Can't really afford to give up another one. Next goal in this game is crucial. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Poirier. 3:20 remaining here in period number 2. Bell has his stick lifted before he can get a shot. McIntosh. Hutchings now has it. Hutchings. Centering pass out the other side. The penalty is over. So we're even strength with 3 to go in the second period. Gottwald has some difficulty, but that's no big deal as McIsaac was back. All defensemen back. There's Manny Strong again. Hands up in the air. I'm not touching it, coach. I'm not touching it. May see Manny Strong there at the skills competition tomorrow. Almost kind of really interested to see how this skills competition goes. You see in the NHL, the players sort of start to wear some disguise. It looks like they were, hung around the tickle trunk of Mr. Dressup, getting some of the outfits that they do. I wonder if these Pee-wee players are going to do that. I'll have to wait and see and have to watch tomorrow. St. Clair thought he might have got a little bit of a hook, but he keeps on going. Wrist shot for the Blue Ice. Missed by a foot. 2:07 remaining here in the second period. Time winding down here to the intermission. Blues will send it in and they'll start a change. Less than 2 to go here in period number 2. 4-2 the score. Billy Cameron having a pretty good championship so far here for the Glace Bay Miners. Sends it up. There's a rink-wide pass there. St. Clair, he's got the end of a shift here. So Miners trying to maybe pin it deep and try to start a change. Late. There's Matheson with the shot. Save there by Albert. A couple pokes there by Clark, and Clark gets a little bit of a push. And just like that, Coach Brian O'Neill sends a new 5 over the boards there for the Miners. And the Blues make a couple of changes as well. Even strength. 85 seconds remains here in the second period. 85 seconds to the intermission. And I've got to think that some of these players are starting to get a little bit on the tired side. Of course, the Ducks started today playing the 8 o'clock game against the Sydney Steelers. Both those teams had 2 today. Everybody's pretty well had 2 on the docket. And right now, things starting to sort of make sense standings-wise. Sorry, once again, the voice cracks. Starting to make sense. Less than a minute to go, 52 seconds to be precise as the play is stopped. Right now, Halifax has 1 point, and that will not get them to the playoff round, and Pictou County has no points, and Sydney as well. So you know pretty well right now that Tassa, Bedford, Glace Bay, and West Hants are in the Final Four, but it's all of trying to figure out where they're going to go in terms of seeding. And right now the Ducks sit up top in first place, so this is a game for second place. And right now Glace Bay seems to be in control, but there's still lots of hockey left as we're into the late stages here of the second period with 30 seconds remaining. Miller with the puck now for the Bedford Blues. Millett and Chandler. A lot of offense here on the sticks on the ice here for the Bedford Blues as the shot there by Chandler is stopped by Bresson. $18 seconds remain here to the intermission. Couple late changes here for the Glace Bay Miners. Draw won by the Miners, but they Blues came up with a turnover, centering pass, but they put it right onto the stick here of Pilling as Pilling's going end to end. Pilling now leaves it for O'Neill. Late stages here. 4 seconds remain. Time winding down here in the period. Puck on the outside. You hear the horn to end period number 2. And right now, 15 minutes away from finishing in second place after 2 days of competition is what the Glace Bay Miners are looking at as they walk off to their dressing room. They lead this one by a score of 4-2, 4 straight for them after the Blues got off to a 2-0 lead. So the teams will sit down, have a little bit of an orange, a little bit of water, talk things over, and we'll have third period in about 10 minutes from now here at the Halifax Forum. We'll be back with that third period in about 10 minutes. Well, it's 15 minutes here till day number 2 comes in here at the Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Championships here from the Halifax Forum. My name is Dan Hobson. 4-2 is where we stand here as we get third period underway. This third period will be brought to you by Cushman Wakefield. So Blues have some work cut out for them in this battle. That at the end of the day, the winner of this will have second place. Here's a 2-on-1 potential. Here's Millett now. Millett, backhand. Oh, it hit the crossbar. Referee was right there, had a good look. But it will stay 4-2. And that's a close call there. Millett did everything, and you can see he's got some handles, and he's got a good shot. Chandler down. In the meantime, Pilling coming back the other way in his New York Islander hockey pants. Luckily, he doesn't have a Butch Goring helmet. Boy, that thing was ugly. You may want to research it there if you have a computer in front of you. Check Butch Goring, look it up there on Google, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the Islanders doing very well. One of the big surprises. Barry Trott's doing well coaching that team. In the National Hockey League, his play is blown down. A minute and 31 gone. Face-off just will be outside the Blues' blue line. Try saying that one fast. Blues will win it, and they'll get something going here in their own zone. Now they'll bring it up center ice, but they lose the handle. Cameron has it, goes rink wide there to his defense partners. They try to get Pilling going the other way. Nearing, pardon me. Into the corner. And the Blues now once again on the attacking zone, led by Chandler. Perrier blows a tire there, slides in behind the net, so scoring chance will go by the wayside. LeBlanc, Jewett, and Perrier, the forward line, will have enough gas there for icing. 2 minutes and 15 seconds gone here in period number 3. So we're going to set up day number 3 of the championships. We'll have at 10 o'clock, the Glace Bay Miners will come back and play the Pictou Crushers. The Crushers were eliminated. They tried to go for the whole big enchilada and tried to pull the goaltender, and they got caught as William Shields got an empty net goal. So they have no points, so they're playing for pride. Will be playing their last game of the round-robin portion, playing the spoiler role. That will be, as they said, 10 o'clock. West Hants Warriors now have that second life as a result of the win. They look like they were going to lose that game to Pictou. They have 3 points. They're sitting right now in the 4th seed right now in the championships as Albert has that puck. And they will take on the Tassa Ducks, who are right now in first place in the standings. And that will be at 12. And then we'll have the skills competition at 2. And the final round-robin game will be Sydney versus Bedford at 4 p.m. And then the tournament awards will be afterwards. That's day number 3. And that will be tomorrow here on 360 Live's continuing coverage of the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships. Blues now, as I said, they had the early lead in this one. Now they're playing and coming from behind, and they're trying to do some catch-up here. And that was inside the blue ice. Millett, you could see that he's close. Unable to handle that one was Chandler there. He'll go back to the blue line. Mathers now. Chandler again. Miller through the blue ice and out the other side. Bresson's lost his goal stick. Trying to get it. Millett there. There's another backhander by Chandler. And Bresson, stick or not, still making the saves. And he's up there in terms of, awards recognition, so keep an eye on him. Bresson, solid yesterday, solid here in this one. Keeping it a 2-goal game. 11-10 remaining here in period number 3. 11-10 till everybody. Oh, look at that. Speaking of Bresson being on, he was not ready for that one as the Blues score that one. No position, and it surprised them. And it will be Perrier with the goal. Perrier scoring 3 minutes and 56 seconds for the Blues here, and it's 4-3. There was a show a few years ago that used to be called, it was a trivia show that was on one of the local channels, and it was called Game On, and that's what we've got going on right now. Game On, Halifax form, 4-3, Blues getting closer. 3:56 the time. Colin Perrier missed yesterday's game in the lineup today. And he's rewarded here for his hard play, as he's had to play 2 games today after missing yesterday's. And he has a goal here. And sometimes it's all about timing in the sports business. And now he's helped his team get a little bit closer as that rolls for the blue ice the other side. St. Clair was in the neighborhood there for the Miners. Coming up to 5 minutes gone here in the period. So now 15-minute periods, they go by pretty quickly. So all of a sudden now, less than 10 remaining here in this one. So a chance here, and you got to wonder how the strategy is here. We talked about it in our game that we featured between the Pictou County Crushers and the West Hants Warriors. It got to be tied near the late stages. How is this one going to play out? What strategy do you implement? Do you try to, basically all or nothing? Or do you try to make sure you at least come away with a point and maybe make it a little bit of a logjam? West Hants Warriors probably watching back in the hotels are probably thinking, yeah, you guys tie. We've got 3 points right now. Or actually 5 points, my apologies. 5 points. But as I said, the final 4 have been determined. It's just a matter of now where they're going to seed. Winner of this will get second place. Of course, the loser to third, and West Hants will be fourth. And everybody else will be on the way down, as Halifax will be fifth place, and Sydney Steelers, because of their goals for and against, in last place, and Pictou County, the host of the Atlantics this year, in sixth place. So that's where the standings are. So, as I say, winner of this second, loser third, and West Hants will be fourth after day number 2. Bouncing puck into the Miners' zone. Rink wide pass there for St. Clair. Too hot to handle for him. 8:30 remaining here in period number 3. Sangster's been a little bit quiet here in this one for the Blues. Sent back in by the Miners. No icing. Play continues on. Blues may not be having an easy time getting out of their own zone, but here they are. They're regathered there. Miller, not sure he was trying to leave a drop pass there for Millett. Millett was way behind, and now numbers the other way. Clark fanning on that one is Matheson. They go end to end here at the Halifax Forum. Chandler now, rink wide, and Miller was offside ahead of the play. 7:55 remaining. And once again, Manny Strong jumping up and down. I see him probably wearing long hair and glasses tomorrow, and those big glasses. at the skills competition. It just may be me, but that's just what I think. Of course, he won his game, and now there's a concern as one of the minors players is favoring his mouth as he skates off. And he'll get there, and that is Hanrahan, and he's going to have to check his chicklets. Blues coming back. Pad save by Bresson. Left a fat rebound there in the mid-slot area. No harm, no foul for him as the puck goes down, and it's settled down. Referee going to gather up there the Hanrahan stick, make sure that doesn't get in the way. This play is in the blue zone. Cameron will dump it in, but not for long as the Blues all back. McCarron trying to spin away from Clark. Jewett now gets a long late pass up ahead. Gets across the blue line. St. Clair holds the line there and puts it right out just like that for the Miners. Chandler now have a burst of speed on a 2-on-1 down low, and Chandler gets a slash, shaking his hand. Arms down from the referee, so that means play continues on. Here comes Clark now. Sets it up. St. Clair, Clark, right on the doorstep. A couple of whacks. Loose puck up for grabs, and Jewett comes up with it for the Blues to center ice. 6:27 remaining. Time a factor now for the Blues. Trailing by 1. Defending champions. Silver medals at the Atlantics last year in Edmundston. We're maybe hoping here to become back-to-back champions. Now they're just fighting to try to stay in the fight. As I said, they have pretty well know they're going to be in the Final Four, but you definitely want to avoid a first-round matchup with the Tassa Ducks, as they have been the talk of the tournament here. Right now, the West Hants Warriors have that 4th spot, and the Warriors are hoping here for a tie between these teams that will bring them back and have a 3-way tie for 4th. It'd be the Tassa Ducks, so just think about that situation. Tassa Ducks in 1st and a 3-way tie for 2nd place. If these teams tie, and it's still in the realm of possibility with 5.5 remaining. No overtime here in this format. Bresson has a blocker jammed against the post as play is stopped. Fans have a little bit of a reaction. Some of the coaching staff of the Sydney Steelers watching this one on the inboards. 5:23 remains. 4-3 the score. Oh, I forgot to change the score. There we go. My bad. Hanrahan sticks being retrieved there. He seems to be okay. That's good because it looked like he might have got a shot to the mouth, and they had to make sure all the chicklets were there. Here's Buffett. And Bresson is down. We have a check to the head, and what a time to take this. And Bresson, a few quick words to the official, and the official skates away. Is it a 4? We'll have to make sure. It is a 4-minute check to the head. Is it going against Bresson? Brian O'Neill wanting an explanation. He'll get it. It is a double minor. And the old thinking cap here for Greg McDonald must be sort of starting to go in motion. Bresson needs to shake it up, and what a great move there. As coming out there was Cameron. They're trying to settle down his goaltender. So it's going to be Bresson that's going to get it. So for a check to the head, and you don't often see goaltenders get checked to the heads. You probably, maybe on one hand, can count this one. And serving the penalty is Matheson. Matheson says, do I have to go there? And then he started to go to the bench, and they said, yes, you do. So Matheson will serve the double minor. And you may want to say that this is your game, folks. Power play goal here for the Blues will tie it up. This power play brought to you by Atlantic Acura. So fasten your seatbelts in for a finish here at the Halifax Forum, day number 2 of the PeeWee Provincial Championships here in Nova Scotia. Miller trying to settle that bouncing puck down. Oh, a couple of nice moves there by Chandler, but he was unable to pull the trigger. Buffett tried to pinch in, and that's a nice effort there by Pilling. Just happy to send it down and get the change. Actually, with St. Clair, they both have New York Islanders pants there, so they're sometimes a little bit hard to recognize, but it was St. Clair. Pilling, there he is, number 15, wearing those pants. Watching Miller for the meantime. Cone Miller. And now the Miners, nothing fancy here, send it down. And that may be a little bit of a benefactor helping here. They could ice the puck and not have to worry about icing, so it's killing time off the clock. And by the time you do the math, it's said and done, there'll be a minute left in the game, providing that the Blues don't score, but Bresson, he put the glove down and was feeling it maybe squirt through, put the glove back and prevented that one, gets the stoppage, and it doesn't trickle over the line. Most importantly, 3 minutes and 56 seconds remain here in period number 3. 2:49 left in the penalty here to Bresson. A rare check to the head by the goaltender. Deflects into the netting as play is back underway. Only took a couple seconds off the clock. 3:53 remaining in the period. 2:44 in the penalty here to Bresson. Emmanuel. I haven't really called his name a lot here in this game, but he's taken the draw. Gutwald will come up with it. Hassled there by the Bedford Blues. LeBlanc, actually Sangster, pardon me. Oh, blowing a tire there was Gutwald. He had a chance to clear, so the Blues have a chance. Let's see if they can take advantage of it here. 2:24 remaining in the penalty, and 3:30 remaining here in the period. Cameron going back, fans. He looked up at the clock, and then Fandon had a second chance to clear, and once again the Blues still have it pinned down there. McCarron will get the pass, and he'll send it down in behind the goal. Miners get it to the blue line, but not out. McCarron keeps it in. Centering pass there by Emmanuel out the other side. They try to put the puck towards the net, and the Miners stop that as they are just getting in the shooting and passing lanes here for the Bedford Blues. 100 seconds remain in the penalty to Bresson, whose double minor is being served as it's sent down the ice. Fans react as we come up to 2.5 left. 120 remains. Blues looking for the equalizer here. So this is, as they say, a big one here. And the penalty coming up. And it's going to the Glace Bay Miners, so this will notify the Bresson one. Actually, it's going to be two-man advantage. McIsaac trying to plead his case. My apologies here, as getting a little bit tired here. Long day here at the championships. So sometimes the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain and my mouth don't sometimes agree. Two-man advantage. What do you think? Of course, the Bedford Blues are in that situation. They burn their timeout in the first period, so that's not in the... I guess you could say, what I'm trying to say, that's not going to happen for them. They don't have the ability to call the timeout. Glace Bay Miners have theirs, a two-man advantage here for 1:05 here for the Blues. McCarron, that triangle is going to be big. The biggest triangle probably of the season here for the Miners. Second place up for grabs here after day number 2 of the championship. Scores! Cone Miller. 4-4. Blues are excited. But guess who's also excited? The West Hants Warriors. Glace Bay got a win yesterday. They won earlier against their rivals. And another point. So there's 5 points, ties them there for the West Hants Warriors. Blues, of course, they're 2-0, and they have 1 point in the bank here. So we have 1:35 left. Don't want to count my chickens before they hatch as Miller's coming in to shot. Bresson with the save. The clearing attempt is actually blocked there by the Miners player. McCarron fans, misses. Second chance, backhands it. Chandler, drop pass. McCarron, wrist shot, stopped by Bresson. There was traffic, and he covers up for the whistle. 1:01 remaining here on the Atlantic Acura power play here for the Blues. 4-4 the score, as I mentioned. West Hants Warriors had a tie against the Halifax Hawks. And they kept going down as the day went on. And all of a sudden now, the Bedford Blues and the Glace Bay Miners may be going down with them. As it is a three-way tie if things remain the way they do, as we have under a minute to go here in the third period. Three teams will have 5 points. So what started off as the battle of second place is now looking to be a possibility of a three-way tie for second place after day number 2. Blues pressing. St. Clair just happy to send it down. 20 seconds remaining in the Atlantic Acura power play here for the Blues. So now the Miners, after leading for a good portion of this game, now on their heels trying to hold on here for the tie. 23 seconds remaining in the game. 6 seconds remaining in the penalty here to the Miners. And it looks like that will do it. So we're even strength. 10 seconds remaining. One last dash here for the Blues, but the Miners will get it out to center ice area. 3 seconds. It's going to go down as a 4-4 tie between the Glace Bay Miners and the Bedford Blues. 5 points in the bank there for the Blues. 5 points for the Miners. And West Hants Warriors back in the race for second place. Probably back home watching in the hotel, or back watching in the hotel. Online, they may be jumping on their bids looking at the result of this one. Did you ever think that you'd see after day 2 3 teams tied for second place? But that is the story as the teams shake hands. We're going to quickly run by Saturday, so we're going to quickly sign off here after the Players of the Game presentation brought to you by Dexter Construction. Pictou Glace Bay at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Tassa West Hants 12 p.m. Skills competition at 2. And Sydney versus Bedford. And that game may mean something there for Bedford at 4 o'clock. And then the tournament awards at 5:45. Waiting for the Players of the Game presentation. Cole Chandler, player of the game. He got things going there, the first goal. And he'll receive a hat here from the officials as we wait the player of the game here for the Glace Bay Miners. Cameron, the player of the game here for the Glace Bay Miners. 4-4 is your final. That will do it for day number 2. Thank you for tuning in. For all of us here at 360 Live, my name is Dan Hobson. On behalf of Neil Gordon, we say so long from the Halifax Forum.